The husband's family looked down on their daughter-in-law for giving birth to a girl. Even her husband never came to see her. Lying in bed, the woman felt completely dead inside. So, Annie had to spend her postpartum recovery at her mother's home. Just as her confinement period was nearing its end, her husband suddenly called. But instead of words of care, he notified Annie to meet him at the Civil Affairs office to file for divorce. It turned out that while giving birth, Annie had fallen, leading to a difficult labor and severe bleeding. A very dangerous situation. Yet her in-laws showed no concern, and only her mother waited anxiously outside the operating room, all because the husband's family had already assumed the baby would be a girl. Right after the delivery, Annie informed her in-laws and her husband that she had given birth to a daughter. What Annie never expected was that after learning the news, her husband simply stopped showing up altogether. With no other choice, she took the baby and went to stay with her mother. Annie's heart turned completely cold. One day, her husband called, informing Annie that they should skip court proceedings and go straight to the Civil Affairs office to divorce. Annie listened coolly and simply said, "Fine." The next day, Annie arrived at the Civil Affairs office holding her baby. Her husband pretended to ask about her health, but Annie ignored him. Just as she was about to sign the papers, the baby in her arms began crying incessantly. Seeing this, her mother-in-law took the baby aside to change the diaper. But the moment she opened it, she was stunned by what she saw and immediately exclaimed, "We were wrong." It was then that the husband realized Annie had actually given birth to a son. He froze on the spot, then began begging Annie not to divorce him. His family instantly lit up with joy, clutching the baby and refusing to let go, even bowing their heads to apologize to Annie. But Annie had already seen through her in-laws' obsession with having a son. She insisted on divorcing her husband. So, she decisively signed the papers. Her husband and his family were left filled with nothing but regret.